Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Saikiran Penpaturi, and first of all, my apologies to everybody who has supported me since the very day one. I have not uploaded any videos for more than 10 months due to some personal reasons. Actually, I have also shared with some people that for what reason I'm not sharing videos for the quite long time. It's a very personal reason. So my sorry and my apologies again. But we have covered most of the topics. If you see, we have covered the AWS almost 39 activities with multiple service integrations. And also we have covered DevSecOps series, including Azure DevOps, Jenkins, GitLab, Terraform, Git, Docker, Ansible, and then Ansible with Terraform integration. And then apart from that, we have also covered 16 tasks on Kubernetes resources. All right. So I do get one most common question. Nowadays, I'm getting this question a lot, even on the talkback calls, even on the LinkedIn messages, whenever I go to some meetings or somewhere outside offline. So they ask me the same questions. Sai, even if we do practicals, even if we do learn the DevOps or Kubernetes or AWS from the tutors, offline or online, or from the YouTube, we are still not able to get the confidence. Of course, you will not. Don't take me harsh and don't take me rude. Of course, you will not get the confidence until and unless you do the actual practicals. The meaning I say actual practicals meaning if you go to my AWS playlist, so I have did somewhere around 39 activities. Those 39 activities were not basic activities. Those 39 activities are what I got from my DevOps, QA, and then middleware engineers. That's how you exactly work. So in real time, before jumping onto this roadmap 2026, I will tell you there will be different teams. Of course, in our organization, previous organization, not current organization, we do have six different teams, starting with full stack team, and then there is other team which is middleware team, and there is one more team that is security team, and there is one more team which is NOC team, and we also do have database team. So almost everybody here, we have somewhere around 45 members developers, including middleware, including full stack, including QA, including security, everybody. But none of them here having any of the admin access to the console. They can only have they have only the view access. If they want anything that they wanted to create on our accounts, we have somewhere around more than 30 plus AWS accounts. We have three different accounts like dev account, and then pre-prod account, and then prod account. All right. So these are the different accounts we do have. We do almost have 30 plus AWS account, and imagine the level of management overhead will be there. And also none of them, like 45 members here, none of them even have a view access, admin access. Everybody does have view access. So one more team here, which is us, which is cloud team or DevOps team or platform team. Like see, you take any team, cloud engineering team. So regardless of any role, any designation you do have, you're going to work on everything, guys. To be honest, nowadays, for the namesake, they are taking like an SRE role and then cloud engineer platform role. But as far as I believe, everybody is working on every tools. So cloud team does have full control here. So just understand the task whatever I got from a developer in my previous experience, the task whatever I got from a QA middleware and then client side engineers, all those tasks I have uploaded on my YouTube. In the AWS playlist, if you go watch first 10 videos, you will feel like okay, I know this because those were common tasks. VPC peering, transit gateway, security groups, and then creating an image with the HashiCorp packer, EC2 instances, cost optimization, VPC flow logs, all these things we know. But later on, you'll work on with the exact tasks like changing EBS volumes, giving permissions with the IAM role switching, assuming roles. And then S3, what we know? We only know that creation of bucket and then clicking on the block all public access and create. That's how we feel that S3 was done. But in S3 we have lifecycle rules. All the tasks, whatever were there, I have explained each and everything in a practical way on my YouTube channel. Those were free actually, AWS videos. So now let's start with the roadmap today. The first and foremost, you have to start with Linux. I will show you. I will show you the playlist and all on my channel. So do not worry. We will go step by step. I'm going to address all the questions. I think most of them will be like cleared the dust, whatever is there in our head, how to practice and how to move ahead for the next 60 or 45 days. So all these things I'm going to address one by one. So the first and foremost, guys, you have to learn Linux again for Linux. I don't want to ask you to master Linux because mastering Linux will take ages. Just go to the YouTube and just type Linux in 1 hour or 2 hours video. Just watch that. If you can able to read the shell script line and if you can able to understand what exactly it is doing, that is sufficient, guys. Because we are DevOps engineers, we are not doc engineers. Nowadays, we do have a lot of licenses to our AI tools inside the organization. You use the AI tools and generate the script and understand what exactly you have to change the lines based on the user requirement. That's it. That is sufficient. But if you wanted to see what exactly we do in the real time or what basics we need in the shell script, see, I have made one playlist here. There are 5 videos here. These are not basic videos like output redirection. What exactly is a dollar and then enter it? So how you will redirect the output to temp location and how you're going to create an user uh, by giving only admin access, not the root access. So all those things have been covered in these 5 videos. So if you wanted to cover shell script, I believe apart from basics, these are quite advanced level, I'm saying to be honest. So you can go and watch these 5 videos. So the moment you complete shell scripting, the next foremost important thing, any one of the cloud, anyone, either Azure or AWS or GCP or Huawei, Alibaba, anything, your wish. One cloud we need. But in this cloud, how many services you have to cover? At least you have to cover 15 plus services. Just in case if you are saying that Sai, I do have only 3 years of experience. See, less than three and three were considered as three only. All right. So Sai, I do have only 3 years of experience. And I came from a development background, and I came from a non IT background, insurance background, quality background, or from any background you take. At least you have to cover 15 plus services, regardless of experience, whatever you are having between 3 to 12. You should cover these many services. All right, regardless of any experience, whether if you are having 3 years of experience or between 12 years of experience you are following, you have to cover these 15 plus services. If you ask me, what were the services? EC2, VPC, security groups, trust me, no one is going to ever ask you this kind of services in real time. You don't work on the services, to be honest. Maybe in the test environment or maybe in the lower environment for testing purpose, just in case if you got a requirement and you wanted to test the requirement. For such reasons, you're going to work on these EC2s and then VPCs and then security groups. These are all core basic services, guys. You don't need to just mark yourself that AWS just because of these services. I'm keeping everything honest. That there is nothing to hide here because I was bombed when 2019-20. I was trying to become a DevOps and cloud engineer. I paid lot of money, lakhs of money, literally, and everybody has given me a wrong information. And the practicals, whatever they show, those were basics. You cannot sustain by doing those practicals. So if you ask me, Sai, you tell me what were the services I need to cover. I'll tell you. Just go to my repository. I'll keep all the repository links in my YouTube description. So scroll down. You will see the repository here, mastering AWS. Just open it. Just scroll down, guys. See all these services, whatever you're watching here. Till here, those are basics only. EC2 and the Rashikor packet data. Till here, it is basics only. Let's just have a look from here. See, in real time, just in case if interviewer is asking, what were your contributions on AWS? Simple question. One simple question is enough to check whether you are from the real DevOps background or not. If you do practicals of this, you can tell them that see, actually as part of DevOps team, my roles were specifically working onto DevOps and then client requirements, we do track everything with the help of Jira. And as part of my job, I usually create custom AMA images using like EC2 image builder or HashiCorp Packer based on my developer requirement. And also sometimes our developer workspace missions volume root volume exceeds, so we are going to create EBS volumes and then bound it, format it, and add those to the file system tab, and we are going to resolve such level of issues. And also been part of like creating application and the network load balancer based on the requirements. We provision everything with the Terraform itself only. Manual intervention was quite less. Along with that, we also use web application firewall to block ungrained find ungrained network. And also we will use some lambda functions to automate our infrastructure. So all these things step by step you can explain them directly to the interviewer. Whatever your practice, see Active Directory. And then I am as a single sign-on, you're going to learn here. In real time, we will work on this Active Directory part also, because our developers and QA engineers, they are going to raise some requests for for tool access. So cloud team is the primary responsibility to give the access to the developer, middleware, or QA engineers or client side also. So you should also know what exactly is Active Directory, how you have to give access from that to directory as well. All right. And say API gateway also you want to work more at the DynamoDB, DocumentDB, RDS SQL. So all these things you have to cover, guys. You have to do practicals, FSX. See, FSX, workspaces. Workspaces means not Terraform workspace. AWS FSX is a file system, Windows-based file system. And workspace means, see, whenever you join an organization, you're going to get one Citrix, right? Citrix VDI or VMware VDI desktop or VMware, some other desktops are also there. We give username and password, and then we log in and we do all the work. So likewise, AWS have something called workspaces. So you can also use workspaces with the help of FSX. So all these tasks, I have did this task during the COVID. We have created 76 virtual machines likewise to the engineering team. So likewise, you have to cover all these tasks. Whatever is there, it's a quite lengthy process. Not lengthy process. It's good to take time and learn. See, the moment you go inside with the basics, you will struggle a lot. It will be very good to post on LinkedIn that I'm a cloud engineer by learning the basics and getting in. Once you go inside, here you will get a lot of pressure because you don't know anything. You know only these basics, a security group and the EC2 and all these things. But the moment you're not practicing all these in the real time and in your local environment first before going to the real time, then it will be honestly very hard to complete the task within sprint. That's what I have observed. I struggled initially with basic knowledge by going inside 6 months. I've struggled a lot, so I don't want you to do the same. So I'm not saying anything wrong here. So if you feel that I'm talking harsh or rude, my apologies. My only intention is to let everybody know what exactly is going to happen in the real time. No bluff. I don't want to pass false information, and that hits me hard. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So I don't want to give any false information. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So AWS Cloud, at least you have to cover 20, 15 plus services. I will tell you the reason why I've said AWS first. I will tell you an example. Not example, I will tell you uh, a real scenario because I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. Everybody is keeping AWS at middle or last. That's a big fault. I will prove you live now why it is faulty. You have to cover Linux first. This is one. This is two. Third one is DevOps or DevSecOps. Anything is fine. See, SecOps and Ops quite similar. In SecOps, you will see some security tools. I have explained DevSecOps itself only. I have did a lot, not explained. I have did a lot of practicals on DevSecOps, guys. It's totally 36 hours I have covered. So in DevOps or DevSecOps, there are 6 different tools. You can't even ignore one single tool. If you ignore a single tool, I think shortlisting of a resume will become really, really hard. First and foremost tool is Git version controlling. This will hardly take 2 or 3 hours sufficient. Git. And the second thing here is Terraform. See, if you are good at creating Terraform EC2 instance, if you are good at creating Terraform VPC, if you are good at creating Terraform security groups, all these basics, it's worthless. Those are all basics. None of them is going to ask you in the real time to create. I've been 6.2 years in the DevOps scope. I have never seen anybody asking me to create EC2 instance. Of course, hypothetically, we'll create. For example, there is a GitLab creation requirement for prod pipeline. So there we'll create EC2, that is secondary. But initially, I've seen a lot of people, they say, I know Terraform. But the moment I ask what you did on Terraform, what modules you have wrote on Terraform, they say, no, I know creation of EC2 instance and VPC and S3 buckets or S3 backend. No, nobody is gonna ask you to create S3 backend or EC2 instance. I will tell you an example. They will simply ask you to create an EBS module, not EBS, EB, Elastic Beanstalk module. See, what we know in S3, creation of S3 bucket, blocking all the public access create, and creating a state backend, remote backend. Now we got a Terraform update, we don't need backend also. So these we know. But in real time, S3 will be having lifecycle rules. Developer will be simply asking you to create an S3 bucket to store some application important data. But later on, the storage should have retention policies, right? How many days you will keep the storage? It will charge a lot of money for you ultimately. You should ask him how many days you wanted to, like 180 days. It should go some archival data process, right? We have something called Glacier. This one also I've covered. So in Glacier, we have storage retention policies. 60 days, 120 days, 180 days. So how many days you wanted to keep the data? After 365 days, the data will be deleted automatically. So all these lifecycle rules you have to ask. If you wanted to enable replication, to what region you wanted to enable the replication. So these things will come. So now listen carefully. If you do not know AWS first, just understand. If you do not know AWS first, and your Scrum manager or product owner or platform owner or your team lead ask you to create an Elastic Beanstalk module in real time, we will never use individual resources like EC2 creation, VPC creation. We are going to create modules only. We have 40 plus modules. If they ask you to create Elastic Beanstalk or if they ask you to create RDS, we never know the AWS here. But now tell me how you will create Terraform modules. So it will be tough, right? So keeping such things in mind, you should go through the services first manually on the AWS resources. The moment it completes, then you can jump onto the Terraform and then you will easily understand the flow. At least to go and grab the information from the HashiCorp documentation or generating the code files from the AI tools. You should know, right, what exactly it is doing. If it's like when you're creating RDS from the Terraform, we never know RDS creation of manually, or we never know what is RDS from AWS. So it's going to ask you enable burstable class. Then we never know what is burstable class. But that's why if you watch AWS first, and then you will understand all these concepts. Then the moment you go to the DevOps, you will learn Terraform. Easily you can automate. In real time, we'll be having some standards, not like how you do offline. So for example, if you wanted me to show how exactly it's going to looks like, or maybe in previously we have followed these strategies. So different organizations will be following different strategies. It's not same everywhere. But see, in Terraform, I have made 7 hours of video. Again, guys, I forgot to tell you, in Terraform, you are not going to enter a Terraform plan, Terraform validate, Terraform apply, Terraform, all these things you're not going to apply, guys, in real time. We'll be having Terraform, GitLab pipeline or Jenkins pipeline. So the moment you push, automatically it's going to trigger. So this pipeline will be there. You have to work on the pipeline level. So of course, working manually is also fine, but still you have to work in a way that ultimately it is running from pipeline only. Here is a pipeline. All right. So on such level of activities, you have to work. See the Terraform module structure here. I'll just open my another. Yeah, go to the repositories, and if you just enter uh, Terraform, just modules were here. Just go to the modules and explore the code, how it looks like. This is development environment and this is production environment. See, all modules will be here: compute, elastic load balancer, IAM. Likewise, we do have somewhere around 40 plus modules. So you have to learn how to create these modules. And again, in most of the YouTube or training videos, what we'll see, they will just change the environment, right? They will just change the environment in the variables. The variable is equal to prod, and it will deploy in prod. The variable is equal to dev, and it will deploy dev. This is the biggest bluff. In real time, we have, I told you, right? We have more than 30 plus accounts. We have 30 plus GitLab pipelines. So every account does have its own pipeline. Every account does have its own dev account, its own pre-prod account, its own prod account, and also this each and every account does have its own GitLab pipelines. The moment you do change here in the dev account and push, automatically it will go and deploy its separate AWS account, guys. If I'm mentioning account, it means account, AWS account directly. So, so it will be like that. You're not going to change the variables and push it to the production or in any other branches. So see, if you watch here, I do have, see how many accounts I do have. Each and every account does have its own account. So this is my personal laptop. So I will create and then I will test it in that way actually. All right. So once after completing the Terraform, you have to go through Docker. Again in Docker, what we know, creation of Docker files. It's been more than a year. No developer has asked me to create a Docker file because we had an update in Docker that if you run Docker and it automatically it's gonna write the Docker file. But I will show you what level of tasks you're gonna do on Docker, because the moment I will just open. Go to my repositories, or here in the overview, if you scroll down, you will see Docker here. See, the moment you install Docker, what will happen in var, in a library, there will be a directory called containers, right? So here is the default location where all the Docker logs gonna store, right? Your manager is gonna suddenly come back to you. Where was this location? Ultimately, this location is in root only, correct? So your manager will simply come to you and he will ask you, the root location is consuming 80% of its resource. It should not happen. Actually, it should not cross more than 65%. Resource meaning space consumption. Can you please check why? So what you have to do, if you identify this, you have to create a separate EBS volume, and then you have to format it. You have to assign on a file system to it, and then finally you have to change the Docker service file, and you have to adjust this EBS volume into the particular directory where these logs are storing. And next time you will make sure that there is no space consumption in the root volume, or in the root directory. Or else you can create one patch manager from the SSM and run some cleanup activities every month or every day. So those level of tasks I have covered in the Docker. See, most of the syllabus I have covered in Docker. I like Docker very much comparatively to the all series, whatever I've covered. I have also covered Docker Swarm as well. Nobody is going to explain you about Docker Swarm, because Docker Swarm is also a container orchestrator, not only Kubernetes. Docker Swarm and Docker are the basics of Kubernetes. In Docker Swarms, we have some disadvantages so that people came to Kubernetes. People move to Kubernetes. In Docker Swarm now, the development has been stopped, uh, but still, I have used Docker Swarm and explained traffic, and then how to store secrets. And also on Docker Swarm, I have explained Prometheus and then the ELK stack integration for log collection and all. Again, in real time, see, PagerDuty is Slack. See, this PagerDuty I have integrated on the Prometheus, just in case if any alert came, automatically it's going to open P1 ticket and notify us. So all those things I have covered in the Docker. So if you do not have time, at least watch Docker first 7 videos and then Docker last 3 videos. These were sufficient. Swarm you can ignore, but these you have to cover, because here I have covered 40% of the SRE questions. I'm not an SRE person, to be honest. So I know whatever I know, I've posted there. So if you do have time, watch last 3 videos and then these 7 videos. That is sufficient. All right. So such level of activities you're going to do on Docker. See, on this folder, and if you Docker service directory, see here you're going to change your service file. And also you will use socket guys sometimes. Socket means where you're going to use exactly socket is I've explained in the video also. If you're inside the container and if you wanted to see what is happening on the host, listen carefully. You're inside the container and you want to see what is happening on the host. It's not possible. So there you have to take the help of socket, and then it's going to create a bridge between your container and the host, and automatically the moment you're inside the container, if you enter Docker PS, it will show you what is running on the host. So such a level of task you have to do. Nobody is going to ask you to read Docker file. Those parameters add, copy, entry point, CMD. We can learn and we can it will help you till interview. But after that, you will feel some difficulties. So the moment you complete Docker, we have something again here, Ansible. Again, nobody is going to ask you to work Ansible alone. What we know about Ansible by watching videos from the different tutors and all, there will be some EC2 instances. They'll create manually. And here we'll be having something called inventory file, correct? And these IPs will be copied to the inventory file, and you run a playbook. You run a playbook by targeting this into inventory file, right? But in real time, you are going to work Ansible with Terraform. Terraform is an infra automation tool. Ansible is a configuration management tool. Both were not same. If you wanted to see more clear and if you wanted to explore what exactly and how exactly Terraform with Ansible integration looks like, go to my DevSecOps video, and if you scroll down in the Ansible very first part, see I have used some custom image here, custom AMI, and using this custom AMI, if you go through the Ansible playlist, you will see all Terraform files only. Using Terraform and then Ansible, look how I dynamically put machine IPs, web servers 0, web server 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, private and public web server IPs into my inventory file. Like this, you have to automate, guys. You have to automate it this way. In my Ansible playlist, we also see VPC peering as well because you need to set up a communication between two VPCs which were hosted on different regions. So for that also, I've created VPC peering.tf file. And like this, you have to integrate and Ansible and then Terraform, and you have to run the playbooks, and you have to target the inventory file to go and deploy the changes whatever you need. And also I've explained how you will manage secrets with Vault. Ansible Vault, not Terraform Vault, as you call Vault. It's Ansible Vault. All right. So I know this looks quite different for the people who didn't know this much of syllabus. But the problem is whenever I ask people to share about my channel, most of them reply saying, "I your channel contains some unique stuff, so we don't want to stand everyone unique. So we won't share with anyone." They directly said on my face. Of course, some people shared, but I didn't get much reach, and I was also inactive for the last 10 months. So just go through all these videos, guys. Then I am 100% sure I can give you that guarantee. The moment you complete 20 days, whatever I'm saying, whatever I'm showing now, if you cross 20 days or 21 days, you will get that level of confidence that you can sit in front of the confidently in front of the interviewer, regardless of any stream you came from, technical, non-technical. There are my mentorship students. They came from insurance background. I'm not degrading anyone. Two people came from insurance background, but they went for very less salary, 6.5 lakh. Their salary was 21,000 per month. But the moment they got into DevOps, they feel happy, and then they forgot about the salary stack and all, but they were happy with the job role part, and then they move on. So I'm just saying, like there is a developer. He's part of development team, and he joined. He learned only Kubernetes and Docker, and he cracked 30 lakhs. So it depends. Whatever practicals I'm doing, all those were part of the client activities what I got from. These were not basic activities. That's why I say everybody end of the video, do practicals, do practicals. So if you want to see any evidences, check my LinkedIn below in the description link. You can go and watch all the evidences there. All right, let's move to the next step here now. So we have covered Git, we have covered Terraform, we have covered Docker, we have covered Ansible. Now comes last two things. One CICD tool, one uh, what a monitoring tool. For CI/CD, I would suggest you to learn GitLab. So GitLab is the most happening tool now, and Azure DevOps is also one of the good tools. So many people will be thinking that Azure DevOps is part of Azure, and Azure DevOps contains all these tools. No, guys, Azure DevOps is different. Azure DevOps is, you can consider it as a CI/CD tool, because I will show you here with the clear evidence. Let me open my Azure DevOps portal. I have covered 7 hours of video. I made a proper real-time project on Azure DevOps. If you go back here, just scroll down, open DevSecOps. In Azure DevOps, we'll be having some service connections. So if you go through the service connection, you can integrate a lot of third-party resources. See, this is Azure DevOps 6 hours video. This is the project I have did it on Azure DevOps. It's there on my channel. So you have to do it in this way. See what I have did. I have created a repository. I have taken a pet clinic application. That is very good application. It does have Kubernetes YAML manifest files and then also Docker files. See, I'm scanning with the help of SolarCube and then using Maven, I build the artifacts and moving the artifacts to 3 locations. One is S3 bucket, and then one is blob storage from Azure, and the third one is JFrog, which is specifically used for storing the artifacts. And then what I did, uh, here I have created a Docker image, and then I pushed that image to Amazon container, Azure Container Registry, and then Docker Hub. And then with the help of quality gates, I have approval gates, and then I have deployed it to a AWS environment by taking 3 instances as a dev, staging, and then production. So this level of practicals you have to do. If you see Azure DevOps here, I also do have GitLab. I just showed you before the Terraform module pipeline. You can learn GitLab, and also you can learn this Azure DevOps. So many people have a confusion that Azure DevOps is all this. No, Azure DevOps is only a CI/CD tool. Azure DevOps is not all these tools included. Because see here, if I open my project, my lab environment, so I will open you the project, whatever I have made. So my pet app, if you go inside, left side, you'll be able to see some options. See here, boards, repos, pipelines, test plan, everything I have covered. Everything in 6 hours, whatever I can able to cover, everything I have covered. See the code files here. So I have explained in a way, bit by bit, step by step. I have also explained pom.xml because, of course, pom.xml is not our cup of tea. But still, you should be able to understand what exactly it contains. It contains some distribution tools, distribution lists. It contains some snapshot true false information, and also it contains some the plugins as well. So you have to understand all those, what exactly it contains. And if you go through the Azure pipeline here, see, actually this is the old pipeline. I have written somewhere around 455 lines of pipeline. So I will explain. I'm going to explain it block by block. The meaning I say block by block. Come back here. See, in first pipeline, you will see one block. Second pipeline, one block. Third pipeline, one block. Like this, I've explained everything in the Azure DevOps. So on this level, you have to do the practicals, guys. So as I said before, even if you're learning GitLab or even if you're learning Azure DevOps, it's totally fine. But I would suggest you to learn Azure DevOps. The moment you learn Azure DevOps, you can answer any question on GitLab and Jenkins. Because see, if they're asking you about Jenkins, even after learning Azure DevOps, just tell them, they create some confidence to the panel that say I'm good at Azure DevOps. Ultimately, all these were CI/CD pipelines only. Given a sprint time, I can cover Jenkins because I previously we have used Azure DevOps. So no harm in it. Like sometimes we also take interviews, right? If people can give proper justification to the answer, yes, let's proceed. There is no harm in it. There is no hate in it. Just because if person doesn't know Jenkins and if the person know Azure DevOps, it doesn't mean that person cannot learn Jenkins. That person can learn Jenkins, but given a sprint time, will be covered. So you can answer in that way. And also the final one, which is monitoring tool, either go with the ELK stack or with the Prometheus and Grafana. See, when I say monitoring tool, if you know how to create Prometheus, if you know how to create ELK stack and how to integrate those log aggregators like FileMeet, Fluentd, Heartbeat to the EC2 instances, it will never work, guys. Integration part, configuration part, it will never work. What will work is you have to create some custom dashboards. Custom dashboards meaning in Grafana, there is an option to create custom dashboards. See, I will tell you an example. We have a network team in the previous environment. So this network team wanted to monitor who are logging into the VPN. This is not our cup of tea. It's network team part. So what Cloud Team has done is Cloud Team has created one dashboard here, and they have delivered this dashboard to the network team. So that level of custom dashboards you have to create. All right. So moving on to the final thing, which is very, very important. Everybody knows this very famous tool, which is Kubernetes. I will write here again AWS. Now, first is Linux, second is AWS, third is DevOps or DevSecOps. Anything is fine. And then the last one is Kubernetes. See, in Kubernetes again, I have created 10 tasks with 16 resources. Currently, the version is 1.35, I believe. So whatever resources were there till 1.35, I have covered almost everything. If you go back to my repository, scroll down, mastering Kubernetes. Guys, I have explained Kubernetes on COPS clusters. See the syllabus I have covered. It's a huge syllabus, and I'm planning to do one Kubernetes advanced video as well later on, but not now. Currently, I'm in plan to create 10 absolute Lambda functions, not basic Lambda functions, 10 proper real-time Lambda functions. Like, how disaster recovery works when the first uh, cluster A is down, cluster B needs to come out to the picture with the help of Route 53. So that level of task, how you can identify some mining applications or some third party user has logged into your EC2 instance using guard duty or inspector, how you will identify. So those level of tasks I'm currently targeting on. Five were completed, another five were there. I will try to complete as soon as possible and I'll post it on YouTube. Coming to the Kubernetes here, look at the task I have covered. I have created a cluster on COPS. COPS is a self-hosted cluster and EKS is a managed Kubernetes cluster. Just because I have showed everything on COPS, don't ignore COPS, EKS. Ultimately, those were Kubernetes clusters only. But there on AWS EKS, master node is going to take care of my cloud provider, meaning you do not have any stress. But here, we are going to take care of both master and worker nodes. I have sorry, I have explained in a way that, see, when we write a deployment file, we see API version and then labels and then under specifications, we see everything, right? So usually everybody will copy paste the same on the manifest file. So what I have showed is why API version is coming, why kind is coming under API version, and why specification is coming under kind. That steps I have explained clearly from the Kubernetes CLI itself only. So you will understand everything if you watch and do the practice step by step. So see, this is what I've covered about Kubernetes. I don't want to talk much about Kubernetes because there is nothing else. I've covered a lot of things here, lot of things. All the practicals, at least if you can cover deployments, replicas, services, and then ingress, sidecar is not required. At least the secrets, network policies, advanced scheduling, probably this all are important only. Nothing can be ignored here. If you can cover everything, then you can confidently sit in front of the interviewer and answer as much as questions you can. Because the moment you do practicals, you can answer scenario-based questions. The moment you do practicals, you don't need to go through any of the top 500 bundle questions. You can just simply do the practicals and remember what you did, and then you can proceed answering the question. So if you do have time, once after completing all this, nowadays I'm watching everybody is asking some do you have any knowledge on security tools? Again, uh, don't get confused just because I'm talking about the security tools, because I have learned some very good security tools. One is Laceworks, and the other one is Vanta. These were actually, audit tools. End of the year, you'll be having an audit with your security team. You have to feed the answers, not in an oral way. by uploading the evidence. Example, I'll tell you. There is a backend at ACL. So it is allowing the routes of 0.0.0.0/0, meaning public. So, so is there anything in place explicitly to avoid such public route? Yes, we do have security groups. We were allowing only limited IPs there. All right. So such a level of evidences you have to show to the security team. Every year, I think you'll be having an audit. So I've just told you one example. Likewise, we have, maybe 1,000+ questions they're gonna ask. You have to upload for past 3 to 4 months. Like October, we were working, and now it's still in progress. So in order to achieve such level of tasks, you should learn these lessons and the Vanta tools. Uh, if you don't want to learn, it's still fine. You can ignore and you can tell them that we do have a separate team when it comes to the security. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And finally, I'll end it with the AI tools. The more you put time in AI, at least spend, even I'm also spending so much time on AI guys. Currently I'm learning machine learning. It's in the progress. Just 2 days back I've started just skill up on AI tools. ChatGPT, Cloud A, just Gemini. These tools, every day we ask something and it's gonna give something. And we gotta work accordingly. But that's not we need. We need something like RAG applications, Gen AI. And Udemy, if you see a lot of courses were there, but target someone who is already in part of AI stream. But don't target someone who is not part of AI stream because they never know anything. Go to YouTube and see like 2 3 years before who has explained about who is talking about AI and target them. And if you're having any subscription plans, take from them, but do not target someone who is not part of any of the machine learning or AI concepts, but still trying to create a courses. Don't target them because it's a waste of time, not waste of money, waste of time. Because money we can earn tomorrow, but time, no matter like you invest crores, you won't get the time back. So spend the time appropriately in the correct place. The moment you go move forward, you should not come back. You should move forward in a way. Like you should plan it that way. So I think I've covered most of the things. Again, my apologies. It's been very long time I'm not in front of the camera. If I spoke anything wrong, my sincere apologies. I think I didn't spoke anything wrong. The only thing what I did is I throw some facts. I throw some facts to the students who are wasting time on unnecessary, unnecessary trainings. They're just looting, but they're not giving you any information. So all the links and all my, if you wanted to connect with me, I'm also available on Topit. If you don't want to connect with me, I'm available on LinkedIn as well, but expect some delayed responses. I'm more active on LinkedIn comparatively to this Topit and not Topit, comparatively to this social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, this Snapchat and all. I don't respond there much, but I respond more on LinkedIn. And also I do have Topbit as well. You can go and schedule a call if you wanted to speak with me. And all the very best, everyone. Happy New Year once again, and take care. That's all, guys. Spend your time in the correct place. See you, everybody. Maybe December, January 10th, I'll start posting about the Lambda functions. Already 5 functions were completed. Those came really well. I'll show you. See, these are the functions I have covered till now. Um I'm going to post all these functions on not all functions, but at least I'll try to post two important functions on YouTube, and I'll plan accordingly. I'll keep you all posted what planning I'm going to do. So these were the tasks which were ready already. Another 5 I'm doing because Lambda, most of them were not covered in real time way. All were basics only, which were not even useful. But by watching these videos, I think you will understand how exactly you have to use Lambda. That's all, everybody. Again, have a nice day and happy new year. Bye.